Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome back to our look at Yu Yu Hakusho. We've already covered one of the four main characters, Kuwabara Kazuma, so go check that out when you're done with this. But today it's high time we take a look at one of the most fascinating characters of the series, a demon turned partially mortal, Yoko Kurama, aka the Nine-Tailed Fox. Kurama, in his previous life, was a master thief, infamous in the underworld for his talents in burglary. Kurama was so dangerous that he was actually considered an A-rank demon and was thus hunted. An A-rank demon is actually quite powerful in this series. His luck finally ran out as he was severely injured, and with little options, Kurama did the only thing he could, implant his soul into an unborn child. Alright, that's an interesting thing. Do you think he knew he could do that? That's actually kind of messed up when you think about it, and we've never really talked about it before in this series, and there's a whole bag of worms that we're just not even going to touch on that one. And to be fair, you wouldn't think that Kurama is a straight-up asshole in one of these evil categories, and you would think that he would ditch his human mother once he was strong enough. However, after his mother saved him from a permanent injury at the cost of a bunch of scars, in that moment, Kurama's heart grew 3 sizes that day, and he learned about human empathy. Now that Kurama has been keeping quiet, helping his mother until a certain pint-sized demon comes knocking about, Kurama is a poised demon that has remained silent while caring for his sick mother. Overall, we're just going to start him at true neutral because all these years of inactivity and willing to live peacefully. So with that out of the way, let's go.
Before we begin, Editor James here to give you all an update on the complete Waifu Handbook.
Oh, you're funded, by the way.
I'm funded? Funded in 30 minutes. Holy shit. Oh my god, thank you.
We've already reached our first 5 stretch goals as well. What started as a For Funsies Valentine supplement quickly evolved into one of Stuart's most passionate projects. Thank you so much for your support, and if you'd like a hard or soft cover of our book, follow the link in the description or the pinned comment and help our Kickstarter today. With that out of the way, enjoy the rest of the video.
Fingerbang here. What's your position?
Everything looks good over here, Fingerbang. Prince of Thorns awaiting instructions.
Ooh, Prince of Thorns? Nice.
Maybe enough with the code names?
What? If you don't pick one, I'm picking one for you.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, whatever. Half bitch.
Okay, suddenly I give a shit. What did you just call me?
Kurama doesn't actually enter the story until episode 6, where a group of demons steal a set of 3 artifacts to use in the human world. Kurama steals the artifacts and keeps the Mirror of Forlorn Hope for himself, and gives the other 2 to Hiei and whatever the hell this guy's name was. He leaves after getting what he wanted, lawful evil.
Don't worry. I have no intention of fighting you, nor do I intend to flee.
Turns out he wanted the mirror in order to heal his sick human mother. The Forlorn Hope is an artifact that grants the wish at the cost of the user's life. Kurama feels that him hijacking a human body directly caused harm to an innocent woman, and when she fell ill, he personally felt guilt over it. He told Yusuke that he would give back the artifact once he used it, but thanks to Yusuke's sudden act, the Forlorn Hope just kind of threw his hands up in the air and said,
"Listen, you want to heal some lady? Sure, your lives aren't worth that. Here's a freebie on me."
Chaotic good for Kurama and neutral good for the mirror.
Yes, Mother.
Kurama?
In the next episode, as Yusuke is battling Hiei, Kurama helps Botan prevent Keiko from becoming a demon due to an injury she took from the Shadow Sword, and he then turns himself in. Neutral good.
It seems you could use some help.
If those nothings were too much for you, we're going to have some serious trouble.
After Hiei's arrest and the Genkai tournament, Kurama and Hiei are assigned to help Yusuke and Kuwabara handle the 4 Saint Beasts who are intending on taking over the world with some demonic insects. Kurama is pretty much being treated as a redeemed character doing community service, while Hiei is basically on probation. They enter the castle, and Kurama makes quick work of one of the spirit beasts and is overall a great team player this whole arc. Lawful good twice.
Do you think Hiei suspects anything?
Probably, but he's still far from the truth, I think. Maybe you should have accompanied him to be sure.
I believe we'll be all right. Hiei may sense something wrong, but he'll leave Yusuke to fix it.
During the Toguro brother arc, Kurama doesn't really play a huge part except for running interference between Hiei and the human who captured his sister. It is against otherworld law to kill a human regardless of the situation. Kurama was just preventing Hiei from dooming himself, which he was very likely going to do. We will give Kurama a lawful good for this.
Hiei cannot prepare you for the viciousness of the fights. Your weakness and his honor make him go easy on you. I will not. Okay, come on!
Beginning at Season 2, Toguro informs Yusuke that he and his friends will be required to enter the Dark Tournament under pain of death. If they win, they get a wish. If they lose, they also die. Either way, Kurama and his friends spend the next 2 months training before they meet up on a boat heading to the island. Kurama also effectively eliminates a ton of targets in the pre-qualifier round. True neutral.
I know you've been spending years in the human world. We all do what we must. I only hope you didn't say get attached to one of them.
Once at the tournament, they are harassed in the first round by their opponents, and unfortunately, Kuwabara loses round 1. Kurama then battles a demon named Roto who threatens his human mother. Kurama risks the entire tournament by letting Ruto beat on him. However, unbeknownst to both Ruto and the audience, Kurama hit the guy with the demon plant, which instantly killed him. Chaotic good.
It won't be easy to keep winning without the use of your dominant hand. Perhaps you should withdraw.
Ha! You heard what Toguro said. We don't have a choice.
The day after, Kurama went back to check in on Hiei, whose arm was injured after using the Dragon of the Darkness Flame. Check out in 2 weeks for that analysis. While out in the forest, they are attacked by Dr. Ichigaki's robot. Eventually, Kurama figures out a method to defeat the machine and head back to the stadium, revealing how the doctor was able to take over a bunch of human minds. Thanks to this information, the masked fighter is able to use the Spirit Wave technique in order to exercise them. Neutral good.
Kuwabara is not the only one low on his power. EA still can't use his arm.
The next round of the tournament begins immediately after defeating Dr. Ichigaki's team. During this round, Nurse Reficule states that the masked fighter and Hiei are too injured to fight, ignoring the crippled Kuwabara on the ground. Kurama remains calm and devises a strategy with Yusuke stating that their teammates are actually injured. Kurama takes the lead, managing to defeat both Gamma, the Makeup Master, and Toya, the Ice Master, before succumbing to his injuries and passing out. What a champ. Lawful neutral.
Sorry I couldn't finish the first 3 of them as I planned.
Shut up. How are the wounds?
My injuries from Team Masho are nothing compared to this death plant. It will take a great deal of energy and concentration to remove.
With the 3rd round complete, Team Urameshi advances to the quarterfinals. They fight against Team Uruatogi, a team with a bunch of mystical magic items. They all agree to choose the round by rolling a d6, with Hiei taking over any fighter not currently there. It's thanks to his tilted odds that Hiei dispatches the first 2 opponents with relative ease. Kurama was then selected to fight Urashima, and it seems to be an even fight. That is until Urashima tricks Kurama into showing him mercy. Once Kurama is injured, he manages to create an airtight barrier with his fishing pole, and then uses a device called the Idun Box. This device causes his victim to age backwards, leading to an amazing Nat 20 character moment where Yoko Kurama appears as he was as a demon, and one of the greatest Chekhov gun moments in anime history. This Yoko Kurama dominates Urashima, who is about to explain how the box works but is swiftly killed by his team leader. This is actually a very interesting moment because the show makes a very clear distinction that Yoko Kurama and Suichi, the now mortal Kurama, are 2 different personalities, though they share the same soul. As such, we will give Kurama a neutral good for trying to grant his opponent mercy, and Yoko Kurama will keep his Nat 20 character moment and be content with that, I think.
Your hair is a bit damaged, Kurama. Human bodies are so frail. I know you fear what my touch could do to you, and yet, maybe you also want to know it.
The next day, Kuwabara and Kurama run into Suzuki, the leader of the last team that they fought. Determined to make his mark on the tournament, he gives a special sword hilt to Kuwabara and an elixir to Kurama. This elixir will return him to his Yoko Kurama form. Kurama accepts this gift and promises to use it against Team Toguro, lawful neutral.
I will handle him.
During the final round of the tournament, Kurama is pit against Karasu, who uses a special bomb abilities to overwhelm Kurama. All seems grim until Yoko Kurama suddenly appears because of the elixir that was given to him by Suzuki. Yoko nearly overwhelms Karasu, but accidentally removes his mask, which was holding back his true power. Yoko Kurama nearly dies to a nuke, but is reduced back to Suichi once the time limit runs out on his elixir. Kurama, exhausted, exploits Karasu's overconfidence and manages to kill him with some plants, but due to a technicality is disqualified anyway. Kurama accepts his loss in stride. True neutral.
Yusuke did not tell Hiei or me either. We were left to detect her passing for ourselves.
Since Kurama lost his round, he is largely sidelined for the rest of the tournament. However, he does perform a few actions to reflect his kind nature. He assures Kuwabara that even though he learned about Genkai's death on his own, they didn't hide it from him on purpose. He also attempts to protect Kuwabara during Togoro's attack. He protected people as they were also fleeing the stadium when it was being self-destructed, and he chose not to get a wish for winning the tournament so that Genkai could be resurrected. We're going to give him 2 neutral goods for all of this. Kurama is blatantly the pretty boy fangirl bait character, and I have no knock against this. Kurama is just awesome. He also objectively has one of the most amazing Chekhov gun moments in anime history, although the existence of the item box is a little weird, and why would this kid use it if he was already winning, but whatever. Kurama is really fascinating because he combines both the savagery and brutality of a demon, but the elegance of a noble human. He's cool, attractive, badass, the whole package. But what I like most is the fact that the show does make a clear distinction between Yoko Kurama and his new persona Suichi. They even have a conversation between themselves, and even though they possess the same soul, they are 2 distinct personalities. I think it's always interesting to see characters look at their past actions and reflect on them through another personality. Hell, one of the best recent examples of this is the new Puss in Boots movie. That film was all about the phases of Puss's life and the stuff that he went through and how he was a different personality each time he progressed as a person. And where Puss in Boots' life is seemingly filled with regret and shame, Kurama doesn't seem to have that. And while he isn't necessarily proud of his past achievements, he doesn't wallow in shame or self-pity either, because he understood that despite his past deeds, it led him to the good man that he is today. And I think that's an extremely healthy way to look at it, and a very, Eastern Japanese way of looking at it too. Puss, was ashamed of his past self, and, there's a lot of, shame in Western media, but Kurama just accepts it and moves on, and I really like that. Hell, even his self-sacrifice play to save his mother isn't meant to be shameful. It's meant to give Suichi a bit more humanity because he feels like he's returning the favor to his human mother and thanking her for saving him rather than feeling a massive amount of guilt over it, even though he kinda does feel guilty. But check back next week as we look at the series protagonist with a special guest. But tune in on Thursday as we look at, we've been talking a lot how Kurama wore a human body parasitically, but I wonder if there's another school setting with high-octane action that has that. Ooh. Thank you to the patrons, and I'll see you all next time.
Hi, this is the Forlorn Hope here. Haven't had much work since episode 3, so Stuart brought me here to say, if you like this video, be sure to check out some of our other ones. And if you want to get behind-the-scenes footage and access to a lot of really cool stuff, consider becoming a patron. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to the vault and do nothing. See you later.